Okay. So I'm gonna start this way. It is looking more and more like that we are going into a full blown bearish posture in Bitcoin and in the market in general. It is looking like it is looking like it is looking like this thing is going to go down and most probably test some ultimately scary areas, right? Elris, do you have a Telegram community or something? Yes, I do. If you go into my account at the top in the links, you'll see it there. It's called Learn by Alvarez. And not necessarily yet. I'm going to go through the whole aspect of what I think is going to play out, how we play this, but it's now got to a stage now that it shows that we're in full ladders and elevator type of price action, and bears are in full 100% control. Bitcoin Maximus, love your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I put a lot of content out today, so everyone here should really watch those things. Some give a better understanding of what the FUD is going around. Some give better understanding of where the market is. Some gives a whole bunch of aspects in the, that's going on, and that's the way that's going to be happening now at this present moment. We are all wholeheartedly in a place where liquidity is at its absolute minimal. I mean, we are playing with razor thin margins, and any amount, and the FUD is out of control at this present moment. I mean, out of control. You see it's over. No, you know this word where it says over. Like I want to make a video about this because it really annoys me. This it's over tagline. Over how exactly? Like you're saying that Bitcoin is gone forever. This market has disappeared forever, or gone in your understanding of short-term gains? That's the question. That's what I'm trying to understand. See, you guys need to understand this thing. Most people look at a cycle is over conversation, as in like, okay, I'll see you next year. I'll see you this. I see you that, right? And this is the situation that I'm trying to explain. I'll put it onto screen so people can understand this, right? What you see here is going to be a very, very important understanding of what's going on. And I just want everyone to really be clear on what is happening, right? And while I set up some key things, we need to understand this, right? And there is a clear thing that people are not fathoming at this present moment. Let me explain this to you. What we may describe as a bearish sentiment, a bearish movement in price, does not mean it is your purpose to now leave and come back when things are better. All of people who have made real good gains in this market have all, and I mean all, done it through in a bear market movement. And I will say this, and I've said it many times before, and I say it again over and over and over again, right? You guys need to understand this. We have topped. If we have, there's still a chance of this thing not being that case, but if we have topped, say this is all completely over, we have topped without a euphoric high, right? We have topped in a market scenario where Bitcoin hasn't gone to absolute euphoric levels and altcoins haven't run. That's partly because of the questionable antics of what happened, right? What happened on the 10th of October, right? What 9th and the 10th of October, that questionable movement that has gone through, where there was a enormous grab of liquidity, right? From that moment on, there is this real problem that is occurring in the market at this present moment, where there is a serious lack of liquidity to be able to hold any runs that's going on. Furthermore, right, it is not being helped by the fact that people are just not learning We are in a hardcore sort of downturn, pullback, whatever you want to call this. And people are still unbelievably high leverage trading. And not only that, right? Thanks so much, Glasses Boy. Not only that, they are holding it for a long period of time, giving people, right, giving these exchanges an excuse to be able to full-blown grab that liquidity. And the more liquidity that these exchanges take, the less that they have to be able to play around with. This is the thing that I want to understand in this thing. Stop over leveraging yourself, please. I beg you. I really beg you on these things. If you've done a leverage trade and things go bad, things have gone bad, they're not great. You played it the wrong way. Learn this, right? Learn this, and I want everyone to please understand this. You need to let runners run and losers close early. It's a simple thing that people need to understand, because we're at $1 billion worth of liquidations. I want just to get an understanding of what $1 billion worth of liquidations means, is that the exchanges have taken $1 billion away from you guys because you think that you could do 120x trade. Just so you guys understand, most markets don't allow you to leverage trade, and the only way you can is that you need to take a test. You need to be educated enough to understand what that means, and we're in full crazy betting mode. Let me and right now, so I'm just gonna go through, because I did a lot of videos, and I'll just do it live here so people can ask questions if they want. Right now, there are a few areas of FUD that is going on in the market. As is always the case, people look for it and then they utilize it in this manner, right? And this is what I want to say, right? And I want to say this. Let's go through them bit by bit, right? Part by part, and understand what is going on. I would say let's look at the MicroStrategy issue right now. First things first, let's see what MicroStrategy is going through, what the situation is, why there is such a big problem at this present moment, and why, on the one hand, I could see what people are saying, right? This fact that they're in this sort of, how can I say, they're in this inverse spiral, in essence, where the negativity feeds into the problem, where the problem then feeds into the negativity, and yada 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 yada. Now we need to understand this factor right now. Yes, there is this ratio factor where they'll need to sell this MNAV ratio factor that they'll need to sell Bitcoin to cover it and all this kind of stuff, right? And there's also this thing that where people are talking about how MicroStrategy, are in this scenario where they're giving yields back onto people buying Bitcoin. Why don't you just buy Bitcoin? These things, these sentiments, if you listen carefully, right, and you want this to understand, if you listen to who's actually saying these things, it's strange that it's bankers saying this. It's strange that it's real world banks that are looking to say this about a MicroStrategy. It is very strange that when they look into the actual business structure of what MicroStrategy is doing, what they're saying doesn't make sense, right? They are giving Bitcoin and security-backed loans. They're not letting you buy Bitcoin through them while they then leverage it and buy more. That's not how it's done. That's not what's going on. That's not their business profile. And besides that, for it to get to a stage where MicroStrategy actually goes like kaput, right? We're looking at the Bitcoin will have to not only go below $30,000, but stay there for a month. What people don't really get about this, and this is what really, really annoys me, right, is that it's very possible that this thing can go down, right? I looked on your TikTok and your screen look you on TikTok and your screen. What? Why is it not working? Is my screen not working? Oh, you can't see my. Wait, why can't you see my camera? I just realized something. You can't see my face. Why can't you see my face? Let me just check something. Why can't you see my face? Why can't you see my face? That's the real question. We can see. I know you can see me, but I'm talking about what is going on, my friend. Can someone explain this to me? Why is this? 1 second. My camera. It doesn't feel as intimate. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me try and fight this. Something's just gone a bit haywire. 1 second. Let's try this again. Let me add my camera. So people, it just told me that they can't see my. There we go. Okay. Okay. Aha! Whoa! Why is it so big? Ah! Aha! All right, good. All right, cool. I'm back now. I ain't selling my Solana right into one. Don't think of it that way, man. Solana, I'm gonna go through some Solana things. Right now, let's go through. As I said, so understanding the structure of what MicroStrategy is doing is one. Secondly, it's very convenient that the bankers are saying this. You know, the very ones that are shorting this thing. Convenient, right? Very convenient that FUD starts appearing right now. Very, very convenient, right? So, and secondly, they came out and this, you know, for them to be able to do that, right? Their liability that they need to repay, because it's all about giving dividends and returns on there. It's about 2% of their entire holdings a year. They would need to not have any profits, right? And on top of that, be able for Bitcoin to go down to those levels for a extended period of time before they start selling. This is the crazy thing about it, right? It's not even like the end of it. Before they need to start selling, that's the case. So right now, the market is in full FUD. Full FUD. That's one. Let's go through that. Bit by bit, I'm going to go through some stuff, right? Secondly, let's go through a secondary understanding of what's happening right now. All right, let's go to the next one. It's a lot to cover today, right? Tether. Let's go through some tether bullcrap right now. Let's go through the yearly tether crap that happens. At least 3 times a year, some tether bullcrap happens, right? At least 3 times a year. There's one. All right, tether. All right. Now, let's get into what's understanding with tether. Every single year, at least 3 times or 2 times, this tether issue happens. Every time we see this pullback in Bitcoin, there is this worry that Tether doesn't have enough assets. They can't cover their liabilities. On paper, they look like they can, but they don't actually have liquidity, you know, because they've invested in things like Bitcoin, gold, and secured loans. And what happens if interest rates go down and Bitcoin goes down? That means that the amount of money that they have, they will not work and all this kind of stuff. For what people are not understanding and why... People really don't understand Tether well. They just don't get it. They don't understand. They just think that, okay, they have this much assets. From this assets, you know, if everyone all of a sudden wants to take out Tether into the dollar, it's the end. There is nothing you can do. You know, the market is over. But what people don't get is that there's 2 things that can happen here, right? I'll go to the worst case scenario first. Say Tether decouples. Say that there is a big decoupling effect, right? Say it's all over and everything else. Okay, I'm going to ask a question and I want everyone to see how keyed in they are to this. What would happen if Tether decoupled right now? Say it was a decoupling completely. What would happen? And we need to answer. What do you think would happen if a decoupling event happened right now for Tether? Please put chat on the list of crypto to... Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Let me move this. I'm going to... All right. Let me put this. Chat here. There you go. You need to have the chat there. There we go. Right, cool. What do you think would happen? I'm curious. I want to have an understanding of what people actually think would happen if Tether decoupled. Because something like this has happened before. The market would tank. Really? Do you know the last time a decoupling happened? It's happened before. Do you guys see? This is the thing. This is the problem of what happens in this industry, right? Chinese whispers are amazing, right? Chinese whispers are amazing. The last time a decoupling happened, it actually happened to USDC, and that marked the bottom of Bitcoin. And you know why it marked the bottom of Bitcoin? Because what everyone did is bought Bitcoin. Everyone bought Bitcoin. Is USDC still here? Yes, it's still here. So what would happen is you would see Bitcoin increase. The price of Bitcoin would absolutely skyrocket. It would absolutely skyrocket. This is the craziest thing of all. So this is the thing that people don't understand. They see it as a bad thing, right? They see it as like a insane aspect, but it's actually would end up being, look it up, look up USDC decoupling and look at the exact moment of when that happened and the price of Bitcoin. It marked the exact bottom of Bitcoin. Exact. Because everyone just bought Bitcoin. And on top of that, secondary factor, right? There's 3 factors I'm going to tell you. Secondary. What this doesn't show you, right? What this doesn't, trading pairs would collapse. I promise you, the last time it happened, people said the exact same thing. Everything was over. Everything was on that aspect. USDC decoupled. Is it gone? Is it over? Is there no USDC anymore? Look it up. I'm not saying anything that can't be researched. Go and look it up. I promise you, you'll be shocked at what happens. And then you're seeing this FUD that happens every single time is an issue. And every time there's been FUD, it's marked a interesting bottom or a pre-rally movement, right? Not to say this is going to happen this time. There's a lot of other issues that's going on. One particular problem. 2, factor 2, right? If you've done a deep dive into Tether, right? What this doesn't show you, and I want everyone to really understand this, what this doesn't show you is the amount of profits that Tether makes from either from treasuries, from owning mines, from owning gold, from earning interest from these factors. Tether, you know what? I also ask this question to you. What's the profit margin of Tether? Is one of the most incredible businesses in the world. I want everyone to understand that. In the absolute understanding of what you can gather in the world, right? It is unbelievable. What is the profit margin of Tether? For those who didn't watch my video, what's the profit margin of Tether? They don't make it known very easy, but in their filings, they need to state their profit margins, and you can find out. Out of every $100 they make, what's their profit margin? $95. They have a 95% profit margin on everything that they earn. I just want everyone to understand how spectacular Tether is. And the fact that they own such a huge amount of US Treasury bills, right? It gives the US incentives to keep them the way they are. But what it also gives an incentive to, right? What it also gives an incentive to is to other companies to try and bring this company down. Say it decouples. There is other options to this, and that's what they want. You see in market where other companies are trying to create other stable coins, but why would you use them? Why would you use, and this is something that's happening, by the way. Why would you use, what was that supermarket called? What's the US massive supermarket called? I forget what they're called now. Walmart. Why would you, and this is actually true. Walmart is creating a stablecoin. Why would you use Walmart stablecoin when there's Tether? Why? Why would you use it? The only way you would use it is if there is a way to pull people away from what they're used to, which is USDC and Tether, right? Those are the two things that people use. That's their basis. And then another thing where they say they're using fractionalized ownership. So this is how I'm just going through all this because I need everyone to understand this, right? They're doing a fractionalized ownership, fractionalized lending policy, right, on Tether to what they own, of a 98% percentile. So their fractionalized ownership is varies between 5 to 2% above what they could potentially have liability to. Do you know what banks? Do you know what the fractionalization of banks is? 10 times. 10 times. I love how they FUD on Tether, but banks are 10 times the amount of fractionalized ownership. They are over leveraged to levels of unbelievable levels, right? I can't understand it. I want everyone to understand that, right? That's the thing. I want everyone to understand. That's the Tether thing. I'm just making sure people understand this, so I'm giving it all out and clean through all of this stupid FUD that's going on. I have no problem with this. If it decouples, in fact, everyone will buy Bitcoin and the market will officially find its bottom. Usually that's the case, right? It's happened many times before, this kind of stuff. That's that. Right. Now, what's next? Right. The real problem, but also the real problem with question marks. All of this, all of what I'm saying right now is FUD without reality. It's sentiment without facts, right? It's all things that make you believe something is happening when there isn't actually something that hasn't happened yet. Nothing has happened yet. This is all FUD at this present moment until it crystallizes. If Tether says, okay, we're decoupling, everyone go crazy. These are all worries, if buts. Look, the worries happen, and I want, please, this is be very careful, right, to understand this. What causes real problems are the things you don't see, not the things you do see. And this is what brings me to what I can explain about the carry trade, right? What happened yesterday? And I'm going to give you a breakdown of what I believe happened yesterday, right? Is that we got a really bad print of the Japan's 2 and 20-year, and in fact also 30-year treasury bond rates. It is looking more and more certain that their central bank is going to raise interest rates. And there is a problem that people are fearing because technically Japan is still seen as the financiers of the world. They have rates that you can borrow at 0.5%. It's stupid levels because you could just literally take that, put that into a US Treasury bond, which will give you 4%, and you're making 3.5% doing nothing, sitting back. That's why there are people who borrow billions of dollars and just put it into US Treasuries or any type of yield of Bitcoin and this and the other, right? I'm going to explain to you what I think happened in the other day and why this could continue to cause a bit of a spiral down until we get to a level. There's something called the yen carry trade, right? And I've explained it many, many times before, and I'll explain it very quickly here so people can just really gain to an understanding of what's going on. Here's a nice little... why is that looking weird? Oh, well, whatever. Stop. Please stop. I beg you. There we go. Right. The yen carry trade is where they borrow, take it to other countries that give more yield, and they give a return. Now, if the central bank increases the interest rates, this percentage of profit in between gets squeezed and squeezed and squeezed and gets to a point where they will have to it's not viable for them to do it anymore, right? So they have to unwind those potential benefits and profits that they have. Today you make some capture sound. Oh, it's not sound. I'm just taking it from my WhatsApp and putting it onto my computer. That's why it's making that sound. So what happens is that this unwind happens, and then there's this problem where people start taking those trades away, which and usually they usually settle in an area where it's on higher risk trades, right? So Bitcoin and various other factors that they take away, and that's what people believe right now. This guy's a speculator, not a trader. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And because of what happens at this present moment, traders are speculators. You hilarious person. God, that's such a dumb thing to say. Anyway, look, and this what people perceive is going to happen, and what happened the other day, right, is with a basic foundation in degree in economics. Yes, I did economics at I did econometrics and economics at LSE. Very basic. Now, at that moment, what happens at this present moment is this, right? Is this pullback that happens in those markets is usually where liquidity is pulled back, and there is this fear of this breakdown of what of the yen carry trade happening, the actual finances of the world, right? Now, we need to ask this question, and this is a question that is paramount to put into your mind. How much exposure is there in the yen carry trade at this present moment? And this is what I want to clarify for a lot of people, right? Is this. It's happened before. Right? It's happened, Mr. Greens. I don't mind you having a go at me. I have no issue with that, right? But I do have an issue with you having a go at other people. I really do mean that. So if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to remove you from the chat. So please be careful what you're saying about other people. I don't care what you say about me, but don't say about anyone else in the group. Now, this has happened before, right? And it's happened before here. This massive VIX spike that we've seen was the yen carry trade unwinding. And the reason why it was such a bad problem that went through at this present moment, right? The reason why it's such a you have to think of this in a different way is because this happened without there being knowledge of this, without there being some problem where people knew about it, right? This in eventuality was actually a black swan event. No one really knew about the yen carry trade. Now, the problem is that after this point here, 95% of the yen carry trade was unwound, right? So we need to understand whether there is a actual exposure to these markets that this interest rate going up will cause this massive unwinding, or oh, I don't know, Mr. Green. I'm begging. I don't know what's going on at the moment. So what I would say is this, right? It's you just breaking up the flow of the thing. I don't know what's okay, whatever. What the situation right now is this, right? I believe that the other day, and this is my belief, before anyone else says anything on that side, right? I believe what happened the other day with Bitcoin is that we're in a uniquely low level of. It's on the 18th. That not the speech, but the interest rate decision was going to be on the 8th, right? All right, Mr. Greens, I appreciate you. It's very kind of you. I did warn you. So what happened yesterday is that we're in an environment where there's low liquidity, as it is, right? There is a very, very low level of liquidity in the market. And the market makers utilize this worry of the yen carry trade being a problem and instigated a pullback. Because if we look carefully, right, is that the S&P 500, I mean, it didn't really have a pullback. This thing was somewhat of a yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Like that some people go into the like insult mode for no reason. I don't know what you're talking about. So we didn't have a real big pullback on the SPX, right? We didn't go through some crazy level of pullback. In fact, we had a breakout the other day, right? We had a full blown breakout that occurred the other day. Now, we have to understand this. We need to know whether there is. Riz, please can you share some America? That's what I'm doing. Full situation of what's going on. It's going to kill crypto. Retail will never be back. All credibility is gone. That's what they want you to think. It's what they want you to think. We have to be balance the understanding of what's going on. Whether is it Bitcoin is the barometer of the market and it's preempting what's happening, or is it something where there is a actual reality to this? At this present moment, nothing of what I said is reality. It's just FUD until it crystallizes into something. And the thing is, right, funny enough, if something does crystallize, if something happens, that usually marks a moment that is a pivot point in any industry or whatever happens, right? Say Bitcoin, for example. If Tether decouples, you will get a amazing red candle, and then that will be the bottom. But right now, it's just this stuff in the air that is just sitting there. That's it. That's the situation. That's what's going on at this present moment, because at this present moment, it's FUD. Real levels of FUD that's happening. Now, let's get to what we would describe as what I believe is going on in the markets right now and where I think things will move. I think, right? I think this. Right now, Bitcoin is looking like it's moving into what could be, let's readjust this because we have to now readjust it because we found a new low, into bearish price movement. Right? We are in what will most probably, unless we can hold this level, I would like to think what Batman thinks right now. He's coming. Long story. There's a few other people that are going to be coming as well. There's just markets need to settle a little bit. Right now, where we're sitting at this present moment is that technically on the weekly, we may be printing another bearish order block, right? It happened here. Is that a smiley face? Why do I have smiley faces but don't have round circles? That's the question of life. Anyway, whatever, I'll just try it. We had it's so dumb. We had the bearish order block here. 3 weekly candles coming off a of a retrace, and now it looks like we're building that now, right? So at this present moment, we, in my humble opinion, right, is that we could be looking to push further down. There is a real chance that this thing can test lower levels. And I'm going to explain how I'm going to play this. And you don't have to do this. There is a chance that we could be going through some, we could be going through a complete breakdown. I don't think so. I'll say this to you, right? In my humble opinion of the 3 cycles I've been through, right? Out of the 3 times that I've been through this, I'll say this. This is what I've noticed. A pullback or this type of movement usually goes 10 to 15% more than you expect it's going to go, right? It will test your nerve to a point where you're about to press the sell button. That's usually what happens. That's usually my non-scientific understanding of this. Now, where we're sitting right now, is I believe this wasn't a cycle, it's an institution pivoting crypto into the future. Yeah, definitely. Brother, Mr. Z's is your motivation. I can tell this guy is Iranian. Are you saying that about me? Are you saying that about me or Mr. Z? I don't know anymore, guys. I appreciate it. I don't know what's happening. I can understand. People can have a argument with me. That's all right. It's no problem, right? Now, where we're sitting at this present moment and where it is right now is that we could most probably, my humble opinion, we're most probably going to USC Iranian. How did you find me out? I am. It could be the same guy from a different account. I'm 100% Iranian. You have found me out. This is the God. Now, man, I'm gonna ask you, right? You guys, I don't know what's happening at this present. I don't know who you guys are, right? But I'm going to ask you to be very, very kind and not talk in this manner in my lives. I would appreciate it. So I'm asking you guys again. If you talk in that manner, I'm going to remove you from the lives as well. I have no problem with you guys being here and everything else like that, but there's no need for this type of thing. I would not be surprised if this low wick will be tested, right? I have a feeling that there's going to be this level of the low wick being tested. Now, sorry, my man. I don't know what else to say. Like it's such a, sad state of affairs that this is the situation. What can I do? There you go. Hope you're happy. And what was the other guy? There you go. Let's do this as well. It's a shame. It's a shame that they need to go in that way. All right. Now, where we're sitting at this present moment is this. Just keep ignoring. I know. It's just they're having a go at other people in the chat, and I can't deal with that crap. Whatever, man. It's hilarious. Now, what could potentially happen is we've seen it many times before, where it sweeps the bottom of this wick, right, and then we could see a short-term rally to a point, right? We could see one a rally back up to a certain level. But I think that the lower lows will definitely. I mean, we're still in a full-blown bearish movement in the market completely. I mean, we've seen the bottom of the wicks being swept many times before rallies have happened, right? And if we look at on the lower time frames, especially on the daily, we've seen that lower sweep happen multiple times, right? Where it sweeps the bottom of the previous wick. We've seen it here. Look. Sweep at the bottom of the wick and then rally from there. Sweep at the bottom of the wick, rally from there. Sweep the bottom of the wick and rally from there, right? So, again, sweep, rally. But these rallies, in my humble opinion, will be short. So you have to understand it very, very carefully. Let's see. If we can hold and print a lower high on the daily, that could move in. It's just a low on the weekly. Yeah. But sometimes on the weekly, when you get these order blocks developing, where you just see this. Look, it's called the order block, where when price runs into that, rallies or retraces into that zone, you get this sort of block. It happened here, right? It happened here. When you get this level where it's running in and stops and then usually continues further down. So I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't take out the 80,050, right? And on top of that, a deviation from that point will cause some form of a rally going up. I still believe there's going to be some form of a counter rally that happens. it's not saying that it's not possible that this thing could really, really nuke down. There is still a possibility there, but I still believe that there's going to be a counter rally, because you can't get a movement this aggressively down and not get some form of a relief rally. I refuse to believe that this move was the relief rally. But we now have developed a trend line, right? We've developed a trend line that we can follow and see what goes on. So most probably we will get to a point where it could possibly take out this wick, or get close to this, or possibly 50% of that wick. We've seen that many times as well, the mid wick strategy, right? Which technically it's almost taken out of. So we could see a rally and tap this trend line again to see what happens. If it cannot break through that, then that will be a short, right? At this present moment, until the trend is broken, I'm basically going to short every pump that happens. On this note, strategy 7.5%, Coinbase, and 5.1%. And strategy, what do you mean? There's a lot of liquidity around the 82,000 area in the human. Yeah. Liquidities matter to a point, but at this present moment, there's the bears are in full control, right? The bears are in full control. I am looking to see one or two price actions, right? If we start seeing a hold of this 85,000 level, right, 85,003, then this will then continue to most probably a rally back up to. Yeah. I know, Cryptos. Everything is risk off on Bitcoin at this present moment, cryptocurrency. We could most probably see some form of rally to retest this trend line, and then we will see if it cannot break through, or there's some form of a false breakout, and it comes and closes inside this trend line. It's a full short, right? You short completely. That's what I would say. Right now, every pump is a short until we get to a very key level to hold. First things first. I mean, we've tapped this. There's the upper end of a key zone, but there is still genuinely a possibility that this thing can go down and test these lower levels here. If this just goes straight down, this area here, I'll be longing like crazy. This is the thing. I'll be longing like, I think Batman. Batman will be busy. Believe there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's coming in. Trust me. If this goes straight down, then I'll be longing this between 72 to 68 area aggressively. Like aggressively, like that would be a counter. There is no way that I can believe that this would just go straight down without having some form of relief rally. The way that it happened in this way when we were going higher, right? How we were pumping up this pullback, a higher pullback, higher. We have to get this see the opposite way. We need to see a relief rally to see the retest of this area, the 98,000. I still believe that's possible to happen. We'll see, right? It's something that I wholeheartedly believe is going to happen. So understand this. If we look at the liquidity levels here, we're getting the ratio between long to short is stupid at the moment. Like the ratio is wild, right? There's a 5% ratio between the two, and this usually creates some form of a short squeeze, right? Usually that's what happens. There is that possibility of that happening for sure, right? That's the thing I will say. Now, let's look at some other things. If you look at the, I mean, it was a perfect fake out, by the way. Absolute perfect fake out. Powell will do miracles like the Wizard of Oz. I don't think so. Honestly, if you guys need to understand something, and this is the thing that I want people to be clear as well. What's a short squeeze? I'll tell you what a short squeeze is. If we think of what's right now, today is officially the day that QT ends. It's official. Officially today, right now, is the end of QT. But we had a massive pullback. You have to be careful to understand this. just because quantitative tightening ends doesn't mean that the the balance of the Fed is going to start to grow really quickly, right? Only when there's some real disaster, only when the Fed does an actual Fed put will liquidity really come back. That's the thing I will say from there. Professor Bold, if you want to see what I'm doing, you need to look at my screen. You can see the screen from there. I'm just explaining right now because people want to have an understanding of what's going on. I understand that you're desperate, but I don't know what you want me to do with that. I'm explaining my thoughts and my understandings here. Right. So if we look at the futures chart as well, that's a perfect understanding of fake hour at this present moment. And remember when I said the other day, he's lost a lot. Of course, a lot of people are going to be hurting. So I don't mind people taking that on me, right? I don't mind it. I just don't like it when they take it out of my community. Simple as that. They've got nothing to do with it. They're hurting as well. Go at me, no one else. Surely if everyone is thinking alike and everyone shorts, it's just going to keep going down. No. It's the opposite. Remember, exchanges look for liquidity right now. And people never learn. Can you tell us in the bear market? I would say it's looking very likely that's where we are, right? It's very likely that we're in that scenario. But I want to explain to everyone, CJ, please stay here, right? Please, CJ, please stay here. And I want to say this before you go. Or you can say something mean and go. It's up to you. Usually is the case. Understand that anyone in this market that is now taking their profits, right? People who actually have profits have all made it in a bear market. So understand this, right? You guys are in a very unique scenario. Sorry, it's not personal. I don't mean it's personal. I don't take it personal. I just don't want you having a go at other people. That's all. It's all my only criteria. You can say that I'm an idiot in the sky bunker, say that I have really overly wild hair, that my glasses look stupid, and I have a bed frame for a banister. Whatever you want. Just don't say anything about anyone that's here, because they're all here to. Some people will take some information they like, some people don't want to take on some information like. And if you hate me, the way I am, the way I'm talking, every piece of information I'm giving, you can by all means swipe away. No problem whatsoever. Now, as I said, every piece of real return that is made in bear markets. So rather than you have to this moment right now, and if we get one leg down, and it looks like there is a possibility of that happening, right? If that happens, we have to be in this scenario, right? Unless you had a lot of profits and so on, you had no profits. You say that, but if you go back 2 years back, a lot of people who were there in the bear market did very well. Let's not forget that. Instead of disappearing in a bear market, you should actually be appearing. Those who stick it out and those who hold and move in those directions are all going to be, in my humble opinion, don't listen to what I'm saying, right? In my humble opinion, will benefit greatly from it. Let's not forget that, right? That's a key thing. And if you want to look at interesting things in the meantime, things that actually have real value, right? Make sure you check out things like DOMA, for example, DOMA, where you can actually own fractionalized ownership of domain names, right? Check it out. It's a really interesting place to look. These are the things that actually have utility. Utility plays are going to be very important in this market. Make sure you understand all of those things. If you want to see, you can go and check out on my check out on my videos, and you can see what's going on. If you want any more information on DOMA, on the having fractionalized ownership of domains, it's a really interesting play. Let me know. Hey, did you just call me exit liquidity? No, I did not. God, Odyssey. How long does a bear market last then? There are still no many possible bullish news. I'll tell you that now. I think, right? I genuinely think May. I would say May is going to be a period where I think May will be a perfect period. The reason why I'm saying that, right? And this is where usually a bear market lasts a year at maximum. But I think May. Because if you think about it, and I like to play with levels of confidence here, right? As is everything, as the gentleman said, he's just speculating. Yeah. Well done for that. Everyone's speculating. Every trader is speculating. It's just informed knowledge of speculation, right? Is this? I would, if the Fed starts cutting, which if we look at FedWatch right now, Pattaya, thank you so much for the gift. That's very, very kind of you, right? If we start looking at FedWatch, we see that the chance of a rate cut is very high, really, really high, right? And I'll say this, Max 7, it's not officially a bear market yet, but I think we're going in that direction. If we see a rate cut start happening, right, and there's a chance that it's happening, it would give me more credence that they're going to be cutting more. The fact that they've reduced QT, they're giving a clear understanding in the market that they need to stimulate the market rather than anything else, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And that happening up until the point of May where the Fed chair will be changing, which also, funnily enough, comes at one of the world's largest cryptocurrency conferences, Token 2049 in Dubai. I would not be surprised if we don't see the start of everything there. That's what I believe. I don't say right now the price action is not stating that we're officially in a bear market. I just want to say that if we lose, technically if we lose 74,000, in fact, yeah, if we lose 70,000, then I would say we're in a very, very long-term bear market, really, really long-term. And I will say this. Remember, I told you whatever happens down. Yeah. Look, I will say this to everyone. I'll say this to everyone. Certain factors that happened in the market made me think in one way, and then other factors in the market did it the opposite way, right? There is no understanding of knowing when something is 100% correct and 100% no. But what we can do is play the margins and play the markets in between. You are wholeheartedly in a position where you can now be in a full-blown traders market rather than a hold. There will be a point where I would highly recommend, in my whole humble opinion, to get into some of these plays, but that's what I would say. Big money has been shaken out. The bankers and editors must be laughing there. No, I think you're completely mistaken there. Larger wallets are buying. It's the smaller wallets that are below 0.1 Bitcoin are selling. I mean, I have a graph of that somewhere here. Let me show you. Do I have it here though? That's the question mark. I'll show it in the next live. Larger wallet, the ones that own above 0.1 Bitcoin are actually accumulating rather than selling. It's the ones that are below that are. The ones that came in late and then they're selling late and not understanding the benefits or where the potential future of this market is, right? There's that. Now, let's look at some other factors. If we look at... I'm convinced they're trying to kick us out as many... I PB Jelly, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. See, look, this is the thing that I want everyone to understand, right? I want everyone to understand this. That we are currently in a scenario, and I'll keep repeating this until the very end. We have we have the most powerful country in the world, the most powerful economy in the world, and the most powerful leader in the world, all forward looking into this industry. And all we care about right now, and everyone that cares about right now, is token appreciation. And they're looking at token appreciation in the short term. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about where anything potentially can be going. They don't care about this. If I said this to you, and I'm going to ask this question to everyone right now, forget about the industry we're in. Imagine we're at this point where I would say to you, I'm going to give you the opportunity to buy the backbone of gold, a part of the stock market, and all of the banking sector, and all of the tech and information, Swift, and all that kind of stuff. You will have an opportunity to buy that or be a part of it at the very beginning. What would you say to that? That's what I want everyone to understand, keep in your mind. Do you think people there would be thinking about, stock market stock is down 10%, 20% this year. I think I'm out. The market's the cycle's over. Or would you be thinking, okay, this is the future. It's gone down, up and down, and moved left and right. Now I own a part of the stock market. This is all I'm saying to everyone to understand this. Yeah, okay, people want to make returns and make this, that, and the other. I get that, right? I get it. I understand that people are fearful at the moment, especially when you look at the market cap dominance, USDT dominance, especially as people are talking. What's really funny is that a lot of people are talking FUD about USDT dominance and it's on the breakout, but let's not forget that, right? Whatever. Is this. I remember telling you guys that it's looking somewhat worrying that we're on the fourth attempt to break through this key point here. 1, 2, 3, on the fourth attempt, it's broken through. This is somewhat worrying. And I would not be surprised, as I said, that it could potentially continue all the way up to this 8.3, 8.4% level. We will get laddering up, but it looks like people are looking to, unless this all of a sudden deviates, there is a chance that this can happen. There could be a deviation that happens, but I'm just saying, hold long term. That's the key. 4 to 5 years, some coins will be the next Ethereum. That's what I did. Look, I mean, look, again, it's all up to what everyone thinks. Does it then make sense to think about Alt-Sol is so cheap, in my opinion? Hello from Stockholm, Sweden, but I am very worried about Japanese rates. How can the Fed fix this? It's not about the Fed fixing it. It's about whether the yen carry trade is going to unwind and where the level of this, where debt is going to come from. That's all. That's what the thing that will affect it. That's all. Because the Japanese central bank and the banking system have provided cheap money forever. That's the thing that I want to explain to for everyone to understand. What's the next step for Fat Cat? For Fat Cat, I'm building foundation. That's it. At this present moment, you need to build foundation, and if you build that foundation, that's the best way to move forward. I ain't going anywhere. I was thinking about doing a full burn of everything else, but doing the full burn right now is not going to have any effect. In fact, people will see it in the opposite way. That's my problem. What I'm going to be doing right now is just work in the background, guerrilla tactics. I mean, even thinking of getting a IRL streaming set to stream on the Pump Fund and build up that community that way. That's the thing. That's that thing. Right. Now, so this breakout, this present moment that we're getting, Road 1990, I appreciate all the shares. You're absolutely incredible. It's very kind of you. But you don't have to do that. It means a lot. I just want people who want to be here to be here. I really appreciate it that you're going there. That's that situation where we are. So this breakout here looks like there could be a level of further move up, and that could bode not so well for for the for markets and coins. But again, I'm still expecting. I mean, this bearish order book isn't great. Don't get me wrong, right? That looks like there could be a fake pump and then breakdown. Remember, at this present moment, we're looking at that. We're looking at every pump is a potential pullback, right? It's a potential dump until it breaks that trend line. Until this trend line is broken, we have to follow the trend. We have to. We have no choice in the matter. Until we get some sideways price action, which could potentially mean a dip down the previous week deviation, and then just sideways price action for a while, which could be for a while, right? That's the moment there you'll see. But there is a real possibility this thing can tap on the weekly, the 200-day EMA, right? Sick of my job, sick of higher rent, sick of looking at portfolio shrinking in value. Ah, man, I've been there. I've been there. All I want to say to everyone here and to understand this is that I've been there. I've all been there, so let's not forget that. I'm in a completely different place from that point. It's all about how you move from this point than anything else. That's all. Again, I always said from everyone, you have to invest below your liabilities. Not going beyond your means is where all this problem happens. That's my fundamental fact that I would say from there. All right, now if we look at the four indicators of which play into whether we're going to be going up or down, we look at the dollar. The dollar looks like there's going to be a complete breakdown of the dollar. The way this chart looks right now, it looks like a complete, utter breakdown of the dollar at this present moment. Completely, right? It looks like there is I mean, as I said, remember, I said this will most probably pull it like a magnet to this area. But that crossing of the death cross there, this thing is going to skyrocket down, like completely. And that should potentially give a relief rally, but the way this order block is looking on the weekly, it doesn't look great. On the daily, it's okay. On the daily, we could potentially see a move and retest it, because this is the thing. What the market is trying to do is capture liquidity, right? So there's a lot of people that shorted up above here, and it's pulling it back down to this area. If it holds at 85,300, this will most probably come and possibly retrace at least 50% of this run, right? If we look at 50% of that run, that looks almost to the 88,200. Oh my God, that's hilarious, right? It's like it's market makes. It's like there's a market maker involved. I don't know. But you know what I mean? There's that aspect. But anyway, let's have a look. If you look at Bitcoin dominance, to be honest, this rising is a good thing, right? I do think that this thing should rise more. This will cause more pain there, but this needs to rise before anything on these levels can work, right? It is a bit sus. It's a bit sus. It's a bit sus. Anyway, whatever. Now, this is a good sign if it breaks down. Let's see what happens. It's most likely going to do something on this level. It probably will do a scam wick and then break down from there. We look at gold, and the gold is on full breakout. Uncertainty at this present moment is on a crazy. If it can break this level here, you're going to see more pain in the market. That's for sure. If it can break this sort of 4,240, right? If it breaks that level, then we're in for some more pain, because technically it's a break of trend. We're in a full-blown break of trend right now, and this looks like it's going to go and test the 4,375 area again. It's uncertainty. Where are you going to put your money? Where are you going to put your money? The dollar is breaking down. The stock market is iffy. Cryptocurrency is iffy. Bitcoin is iffy. The yen, the cheap liquidity is out of nowhere. Where are you going to put it? Gold. Gold is the only place you can put it. Where else are you going to put it? Now, if we look at the VIX, there is a slight rise. I wouldn't say anything that's of any explicit value. So it doesn't look like there's going to be too much volatility in the market at the moment. But there is still uncertainty. One big worry is this. Is a 10-year yields, right? What's happening is that there is a sell-off that's happening in US Treasuries. And that is directly linked to the yen carry trade. Directly. That trade there is the exact place where most people put that cheap liquidity into, because it's guaranteed returns, it's healthy returns, it's coming from a top tier country with a high level liquidity that pay their debts. That there means that they take cheap liquidity and put into that. This here is sitting in at that point right now. Where this is sitting at this present moment is if this doesn't reject and starts to test the 4.1 and actually starts getting above the 4.1, 4.15, then we're going to see some more pain in the market as well. We need this to fully break down below the 3.9. Below the 3.9, you will see markets go absolutely parabolic, genuinely full parabolic move. Now, total market cap. Technically, and I mean this, I'm looking for like straws here. We are, I mean, it's only the 4 hour. If the day closes where it is, we have technically produced a higher low. We have. It's just looking suspiciously similar to Bitcoin at this present moment, right? You see the effect of Bitcoin that's happening. Technically, we're ranging. Technically. It just doesn't look good. And I'll say this, right? This trend line is very, very important. It's very important. Because a markdown, I'm not painting the truth. I'm giving you exactly how I see it. Technically, I wouldn't say this is, we have printed a higher low, technically. But if we break this trend line, then the 2.38, 2.4 area is where we will sit. And if that breaks, then I am almost certain Bitcoin will tap the 70,000 to 70, between 70 to 74,000, this area here. I would be quite certain on that if that happens. And the problem is, it's looking like that. Because this is the epitome of steps and elevator movement, where you ladder up, step up, and then elevator down. And that means bears are in control. They're looking for liquidity. Thank you, Batai. That's very, very kind of you. That's what I would say. Total 3 on the exact same manner. If it loses this level, now one hope with the with alts, right? And this is a thing that we could see this thing. It's not been over since December. Alts potentially, not Bitcoin. Please, I want everyone to understand. It's like this singular statement that everyone keeps saying, right? That one person has been peddling for over a year, right? I want to explain this to everyone, right? This liquidity event, I mean this in the absolute highest level of conviction. Anyone that could predict this liquidity event that happened, this, how can I say this in the best way possible? Questionable liquidity event. Let's just say that, right? Where there was FUD that happened, a short that happened, and at the same time, all of the market makers decoupled from the exchanges where they didn't have fail safes to stop the selling, which meant all of their liquidity got eaten up. That weird thing that happened, let's not look into it any further. Anyone who says that have predicted that, and I mean this in the best possible way, is lying to you. All right? Bears can sometimes look clever. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they look like the cleverest people in the room. But I promise you, bulls make money. Bears can be right. Bulls make money. Please keep that in mind. Because I'm a bull. I made a gargantuan amount of money from this industry. So you guys understand. But where did all the liquidity go? I am not willing to discuss that conversation. I'm not willing to discuss that conversation. Certain coins went to zero. I want everyone to understand that. Certain coins went to zero. That's not a normal price action. I want everyone to get that. It's a... Do you know what I mean? Reckon Marks is gonna crap until Q2. I would say if we don't get some... I want everyone to get this. If we don't get a counter rally, in December, it's most probably January. We have to get a counter rally, because what will happen, and I'm assuming this is what's being waited for at this present moment, is this skew is gonna get to like 100% short and 1% long, because that's how it works, man. I work in 101%. You know what I'm saying, right? Give it 101, right? And unless you think that exchanges are just gonna give people money, unless they're going to be like, you know what, Brev, all these people that shorted this, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna give them that money. We're gonna give it, because no one learns, and they will hold this short, thinking that this thing is gonna go to forever. They're gonna say, okay, all right, I shorted here. I've made, what is this now? Let me just measure this. Shorted it here, and I've made 7%. That's not enough. I don't think that's enough. I did that at 50x leverage. Why would I want to do anything more than that? I'm not gonna short that. What was that? What's going on? I'm gonna short that. Do 50x leverage. I'm 300% up. I ain't selling that. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna hold that. And overnight, like, wait, how did I lose everything? That's what's gonna happen. All right. Now, I want to say something and give you a piece of information also about a project right now. I've talked about VeChain for a lot, right? And there's something really interesting that's happening tomorrow. And it's just like the absolute best time for this to come out, right? Absolute best time to come out. But it's for those that are considering staking and those who have already staked, right? Something called Hayabusa is coming out tomorrow. And it's just a piece of information for those who are in VeChain. They're looking to hold it long term. They have to be able to get their returns when you stake. That usually works on an NFT basis, and the way you do that is by downloading the VWorld wallet. Where if you go to my link tree, you can see the VWorld wallet here, right? You can go there, click that, and download that thing. It's the best way to stake if you want to do it. That can be found underneath my video descriptions or in the links and everything else on there, usually on the link tree. But if you go there, from tomorrow onwards, those VTO tokens you're going to be getting, the staking tokens that you get from staking this, is going to change. And I would highly recommend you also go here, right? You also go here, click onto the Stargate by VeChain and read what this Hayabusa development is, because it's the development, the growth, the new direction of VeChain. And what they're doing is now creating a different tokenomics, right? They are making it deflationary, where most projects are doing inflationary growth. They're doing aspects where they're making your staking actually an active process, making people do things and being active and making the chain an active chain that is only for the benefit and the growth of the chain. At that same time, if you staked your VeChain on VWorld, which I would highly recommend you do it there, it's the best way to do it. It's really easy. Just click on and unload, and I'll show that tomorrow. If you do that, you go into a point where you have to allocate your staked NFT to a node owner, right? And that node owner is the person that's going to be giving you rewards. And what happens being active and doing that actually gives you a higher percentage of rewards. It gives you more control. It gives the chain more safety. It makes it completely and a higher percentage of decentralization, which is what you want. The next stage is there's another development that's coming to VeChain as well, and every single stage is a bullish movement, and this will eventually get to a point where it will completely transform the tokenomics of the chain, and will give anyone that is looking for this for a long term a perfect place to be when it does. If you're looking to hold VeChain for the long term, for the long push, for the aspect of trying to get something return it, this here is the best way to do it. If you want to have more information about that, go to my link tree. If you want to have more in-depth information, not only that, one of the key leaders of Stargate, and in fact, VeChain themselves will be coming onto my live. You can ask some questions. I'm highly excited about this new development, and I believe for the long term, if you're looking to wait through this, what could be a bearish period in this market, staking is the best thing to do, in my humble opinion, because when it grows, you grow with it. That's it. That's all I will say. If you want any more information about that, come tomorrow. I'll show you what the new Hayabusa launch is going to be, and we can do and allocate those factors together as we move forward. Right, now let's look at some questions and we will go from there. Oh, if we look at ETH is huge. All right, okay, all right, ETH. We're in this structure, right? But there's two ways to understand. You still think we're in a bull market? What Wolf indicate? What Wolf in? I'm not saying we're in a bull market. I've never said. I said. I want this, Stevie. I want you to understand this. If you look at my previous recordings, and I want to make sure that you read my. I've always said we are currently in a bearish price movement. Bears are in control at the moment. I'm just expecting a counter rally at some point. There is no way that I can believe that this thing is just going to go down without having one counter rally. I just can't believe it. It's like saying Bitcoin will go up forever. When you hear, you're like, it's going to go up forever. There's no way that this can pull back. It is impossible. There is a point, but it will do that. That's what I'm saying. That's it. Right? I want that to have understood. Now, what was I talking about before I got to this? I was going to say something. Oh yeah, any questions? Any questions from anyone that I can look at? Oh, ETH. Yeah, right. Right now, ETH was in this bull flag, right? And it got completely rejected off this. Alvarez, do you know anything about Pippin and why is it ripping? I would say this: any coin that's doing something like that, wait for a bearish candle and short the. What is that Pippin? Can you give me the ticker for that? That might be a good short idea. So we're in this channel down, and it gives the vibe of a bull flag, right? It got heavily rejected off this point, and now we're in a bull flag, but you could technically say that we're also in a key decision point here, right? If we were to be, I mean, we can adjust it a little bit. Let's just say that. I mean, we are Pippin and Sol been trading the S area. All right, let me have a look at Pippin. You should put it into the trading group, man. Then people can play around with that. We are at extreme decision point for ETH Bitcoin. If this breaks down, then it means that ETH is showing relative weakness towards Bitcoin. And that means if Bitcoin does a pullback, ETH will do a stronger pullback. That's what I would say. I mean, if we look at ETH here, it's mega crunch time at this present moment. I would not be surprised if this thing doesn't retrace the full movement of that pump. 2415. That's what I would say. Let me look at this Pippin thing. What's Pippin? Why do I not know Pippin? Well, like this. How do you spell it? How do you spell Pippin? Pippin, like this. Oh, it's a Mexi. Oh, it's a Mexi futures as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yo, that's what's going on with Pippin at the moment? Does anyone know what's happening? Did they launch a what's happening with Pippin? That is a wild move. 8x. So I'm gonna keep this in my radar. And what was the other one? Trador. Alright, I'm looking to short the absolute bejesus out of this. What's Trador? Why do I not know about these? Trador. Nope, that's not how you spell Trador. Trador. This one. I mean, I'm expecting fully for that to happen on Pippin. Ah, man. Wait, what's the small time frame looking at that? All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to show you something. Merlin's also... Okay, look. Are any of you guys in the pro trading group? If you guys are, by the way, I am thinking of doing like a deal so more people can get in there. Maybe I'll do a deal to just try and get people in there so they can test it out for a month. I don't know. We'll see. I'll think about it. All right. This is the play, right? This is the play. I made profits on 3 last night. Well done. If it can't get, if it rejects off this level here, the 0.190752, if it rejects there, yes, in for a deal. I'm just thinking what deal I can do for you guys. Come into the Learn by Alvarez, and then we can chat about it. Maybe I can give you guys a 1 month or 2 month deal, something like that. If this rejects off this point here, which it kind of looks like maybe it has already. Like, would you count that as a rejection though? Maybe, right? Maybe. Depends, right? If that rejection happens there, that would be the short of the century. That would be a monstrous short. Absolutely monstrous. I really appreciate being... Oh, no, of course, man. It's not a problem. That would be an... wow. What was the other one? I'm just looking at... just look at ARU. Let's look at ARU. The tragedy is already been shorted to oblivion. ARU. I'm going to be looking at that. Oh, SPX as well. One second. I was looking at SPX this morning. I've just been so busy to be able to go through it. Anyway, is this ARU? Is this it? No, that's already gone. ARU's gone. SPX. Let's look at SPX. Let's see what SPX is up to. I mean, I wouldn't call that a pump, but yeah. Oh man. 1 second. Yeah. Uh, uh, I can't say it. I can't say it, but I'll just say 1 second. All right. All right, I'm just gonna give 2 areas here to you guys, right? 2 areas. Because these tokens have a real good liquidity, so they can pump. All right. Let me show this to you. It looks like it's if it can't break through there, then it's going down. But I would say 0.638, potentially 0.64. It might get a scan wick there, like a. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, what else? Let's look at the time, how large the time frame is. Oh yeah. Yeah, monitor this. SPX looks like there's a beautiful opportunity for a short here. Like that there is a beautiful bearish order block. One second. Yeah, that looks. I mean, what would be your? Where the? Because too many things going on here. What would be your? That would be a 15% move. Wow. I mean, it would do 8.5 per first. But I got a feeling this thing's gonna run the whole thing, you know. Anyway, watch this carefully. Where would you short? I would 0.64, 0.64 in my opinion. 0.64. Yeah. Multiple levels of confluence at that level. If it reaches there, yeah, and look, it also takes out this wick as well. Yeah, 0.64 would be an area. In 4 hours, Powell's speech. Unless Powell says something like, there is a serious problem in the US market and we're going to completely, wholeheartedly do a Fed put and pump in massive levels of liquidity, the market still will tank and then move from there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I would look for. He will never say that. Yep, that's what I mean. Is Chainlink in a buy zone for long-term movement? I would look. The only time that I would consider, right, Will Fatco go up when the market recovers? That's the plan. That's the plan. I would say this. I would say this. I would not look, in my humble opinion, do what you guys feel like. I would not look. I mean, unless you're going to be decent or averaging down, it's up to you. But I would wait for Bitcoin to level out, to bottom out, right? I would want that to happen before I look for any long-term things. Sometimes patience can work both ways, right? That's what I would say. But man, if it rejects off that point, anyway, watch it carefully. Guys, join the pro group. I think a beautiful trade's coming. We will see. All right. Okay, guys. Look, I've gone over already. You guys are incredible. Check out Doma. Check out VeChain. The higher boost is going to be very, very important. Don't say to me I did not warn you guys. At the same time, you know, if you guys want to join the pro group, by all means, if you want to do that, you can do it this way as well. You just go to my link here. Just go to Learn by Alvarez and ask me there, and I'll see what I can do. Because at the moment it's a 3-month membership. Maybe I can do something with that if that's a bit too. Even that, to be honest, it's not that. I mean, it's not a lot I'm asking for, but you know, people in there have costs, and I need to. I'm not making a single penny from it, so just everyone understands. Ooh, it's rejecting. Anyway, all right, I'll be in touch. I'll catch you guys later. You guys have been incredible, right? And then we can go from there. For TikTok guys, you guys are absolutely incredible. A peace, affection for everyone that joined. You guys are incredible. I'll catch you tomorrow. My lives are 7:30 to 9 every single day except the weekends. All right, let's end that live, and then I will be. All right, that's that. All right. Thank you for your time again. Without you, I would probably have a panic attack. So everything already. Yeah, I understand. Sometimes it's good to just rent out there, and that's what you get from people that come into my life. You know, people come in and just get angry at me and say whatever they need to say, and if they need to say it, they need to say it. It's fine. I have, you know, this is the thing, right? This is the thing that really people really I love, right? Is that they genuinely think I care what they say about me. I genuinely care that like what makes them think that I care so much about what they're going to say about me. Honestly, like, great, well done, man. Enjoy yourself. Honestly, anyway. Look, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow the links. Make sure you press the like. Make sure you follow and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate all of you guys for the future. All right. Take care, guys. You guys have been incredible. I'll catch you guys.